This is Robin Luther from Tosa Together, and I'd like to welcome you to Tosa Talks, Building a Diverse, Thriving Community, an ongoing Facebook series proudly sponsored by our generous friends at Bostik. Tosa Talks features three monthly presentations designed to provide meaningful discussions around racial and social justice issues to support the work of building an inclusive, anti-racist community. We're excited for tonight's panel discussion on building Black-owned businesses in Wauwatosa and Wisconsin. This discussion is part of a personal story track that streams live at 7 p.m. on the second Tuesday of each month. Please also join us for the Equity and Inclusion track on the third Wednesdays and the Government Department and Organization track on the last Thursday of each month. Presentations are recorded and available for viewing and sharing on this Facebook page or on the Tosa Together YouTube channel. We welcome and encourage you to take part in the live question and answer session that will happen tonight. Please feel free to add your questions for our speakers into the Facebook comment section during the presentation. It's now my pleasure to introduce tonight's panel moderator, Katie Phillips.
Hello, I'm Katie Phillips from Tosa Together, and I'm delighted to welcome tonight's fabulous panel to Tosa Talks. As you can see, we have owners from various areas of business, and they will be introducing themselves in a minute. We're so glad you could join us to speak to our Facebook audience about your individual journeys as local entrepreneurs and share the challenges, barriers, and opportunities you've experienced as business owners. We know your time is precious, so we're treating tonight like an open house. If you need to come and go, drop off the call, we understand that. Let's use our first question as a way to introduce each of you. So could each of you introduce yourself and the business you own, starting with Bruce Riley.
Hi, my name is Bruce Riley. This is my wife, Daniela Carter Riley, and we're the owners of Wisconsin Curated Creations.
A little bit about the business.
Sure.
Wisconsin Curated Creations is located at Mayfair Mall, and we have a collective of over 33 different businesses from across Wisconsin where we sell handmade products. So they're all locally artisan designed products, unique, one of a kind. We have everything from apparel, woodworked furniture, bath and body products. We have accessories. So we have a plethora and a variety of products to choose from. And all of the artisans are very creative, as well as all from different backgrounds, walks of life, gender, age. So we make up the WCC family.
And Daniela, could you also talk about Beaded Vision Jewelry?
Yes. So Beaded Vision Jewelry is kind of where everything started from the business standpoint. It is my jewelry brand, and we started Wisconsin Curated Creations by doing pop-ups for Beaded Vision Jewelry. So we would do craft fairs, host open houses. We did a Christmas market in Menominee Falls, actually at Poppy and Time, where we started to build our friendship with Ruben and Layla, who own the business. And then I did a pop-up here at Mayfair Mall. And while on break, we kind of walked around the mall and saw an empty space upstairs and thought it would be an amazing space to not only showcase Beaded Vision Jewelry, but it would be awesome if we could partner with other small businesses and give an opportunity to be able to come together and afford a space within a mall environment to be able to expand our brands. So we took that idea, went to the mall, they loved the proposal. We opened that store for a month. And then 2 weeks into that, we had further discussions with the mall that led us to our current space. And now going full circle, after we've been here for Wisconsin Curated Creations for a year, we said, okay, now it's time to continue to build on Beaded Vision Jewelry. And so we decided now to continue to grow that brand and have now opened 2 Beaded Vision Jewelry locations, one inside Mayfair and one in Menominee Falls.
Awesome. Ruben, could you talk about Poppy and Time?
Sure. It's been in business in one form or another for over 10 years. My wife and her mother founded it about 10 years ago under another name. And then almost 3 years ago, opened up a store in Menominee Falls. Makes bath and body products, handmade bath and body products, soaps, bath bombs, and the likes. and then we met Daniela and Bruce along the way, and basically they asked us to be part of WCC, and that was a little scary going to the mall, whether in that store by themselves. I just wanted to thank them for taking the step that a lot of people are afraid to do. We couldn't have done that without them. We didn't do it without them. So, we're happy to be part of the partnerships there. We feel happy to be part of the family, the WCC family, and the Tosa community as well. And just a big shout out to them for paving the way. I think this is the future of retail at the malls, and I think it provides a lot of opportunities to people who have been told no before, and now that no turns into a yes. And so we're just and I love them. They're like family. There's great people, great people. You couldn't ask for better people at the helm there. I can tell you that.
Awesome. Well, I think tonight is not just about Black-owned businesses, but it's about the big picture and about local business, right? And how do we really act like a community? So that's what Tosa Together is trying to do in Wauwatosa. So awesome. LaDonna Gladney from Donna Fit for Life, can you talk to us about your business?
Hello. First, I want to say this is an honor. I am also part of the WCC family as well. The name of my business is Donna Fit for Life, LLC. I am a fitness trainer and a nutritionist. I just recently graduated from MATC College for dietetics, and I love training. I've done a fitness competition and so many other things. So I really, really love the community, and my goal is to help people be healthier and to teach them, and so they can be independent and know how to eat healthy as well as know how to exercise and live long, healthy lives.
Outstanding. And Terrell, can you introduce yourself and your business as well?
Yes, my name is Terrell Harris, born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, product of Mesmer High School, UW Parkside for my undergrad, and UW Platteville for my grad degree. Started Words and Images. We're celebrating 5 years this year, and our vision was simple but powerful. We wanted to add or harvest the value of Milwaukee, value that was already there. And so we make apparel products, primarily t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, hats, and then we have some other items to go with it. And it's all designed for individuals to see their value, for Milwaukee to see its value, and not just to look at other cities, New York, Chicago, and other cities that already have a reputation, already have just a strong presence throughout the country and throughout the world. But for Milwaukee to take its rightful place and say, we can play with the big boys. And the reason for that is because when we value our own city, we'll build it more, and we'll talk about it less. We'll destroy it less. We'll marginalize people less. So that was the that remains the vision. And I went from screen printing, ordering or paying for someone else to screen print my shirts, to screen printing my own shirts. So we make all of our apparel ourselves for the last 4 years, which has turned into a screen printing business, screen printing items for other people. So you get real creative when you're an entrepreneur, and you find ways to save money. And sometimes you have to find ways to save money. So I kind of just, as a novice, stumbled into screen printing, and it's probably saved the business and help grow the business. So I'm excited to be adding value to Milwaukee. We've worked with hundreds of different schools and businesses, Milwaukee Bucks Summerfest, Black Arts Festival, and co-branding with our main shirt, the Milwaukee State of Mind shirt. We have had the Bucks State of Mind shirt, the Summerfest State of Mind shirt, and just a lot of different entities. So it's sort of has established itself as a part of Milwaukee history. We're excited about that, and the opportunity to work with Bruce and his wife Daniela has been an amazing experience as well. It's been a learning experience, but also amazing experience, because when we come together and collaborate, we're more powerful. And so they do a beautiful job of making opportunities available to all of us, making us feel comfortable, giving us creative freedom to be able to expand and grow, and really just setting a tone for the way we should do community.
And then I'm going to ask you the next question, Terrell, and then make the rounds to everyone else. What factors spurred you to start your own business? What made you go into screen printing or go into creating your own designs?
I would say two things. I'm actually an entrepreneur, and I also have a job in social services. So I would say, number one, most of us believe we have a dream or a vision, or we have some sort of business or organization that we want to start. We have something we want to create, that lives in us. But life and whatever other limitations, could be fear or comfort or just not knowing how to make time, prevents us from being able to take our dreams to the next level, take our plans, our business plans to the next level. So number one, just having a dream, just having a desire and an idea to make an impact. And then number two, obviously jobs, there are more financial limitations when somebody else hires you to do a job or to provide a service. So entrepreneurship really gives us more financial liberty, because it's on us. It's on our prayers, it's on our growth to be able to figure out how to seize the opportunity to take advantage of that limitless opportunity to create more financial resources for ourselves, our family, and our community.
Mm-hmm. Ruben, when your family members started their business, would you say those were similar factors for them?
Yes. My wife was working for an insurance company, and there's a contention between your full-time job and your part-time job, and there's always that contention, when do you go full-time? But then you have issues like health insurance, and you have to keep yourself employed, and so always looking for that way to get bigger and bigger, and finally you take the plunge, and you have to look for those opportunities, because no one's paying you now like you had at your full-time job. Now you have to look for those opportunities, you have to market, and you have to take these things into consideration. And I think for a lot of small businesses, taking that step from working for someone else to working for yourself is almost the hardest step to do.
Yeah, it sounds pretty scary to me as somebody who's always worked for somebody else. But yeah, LaDonna, you're right out of school, but do you feel like there's anything, is this a tradition in your family? Are you the first one to start a business?
No, actually, my sister is a fashion designer. The name of her business is TMC Collections, and I was really inspired by her. She is a fashion designer and sells clothes as well. I've kind of always been a entrepreneur by nature. I've always had like different small things that I was doing and making money on the side, and because I have so many different talents. But this business really came from experience, having family members who were ill, in my own experiences, and I began to start to research different ways to be more healthier, to, you know, curb certain diseases and illnesses, and it worked. And when it worked, like the light went on, and I just kept going, kept going, kept going. And before I know it, like Down to Fit with Life was there, and people were coming and asking me, "Can you train me? Can you train me? How do you eat? What do you eat?" You know, so, and it just kind of came naturally, and I just said, "This is what I'm meant to do."
That's amazing. Awesome. And then Riley's, you have a strong partnership. I think that's clear to us. But as you're managing some different locations now of your businesses, and can you talk about how you're managing that growth? Oh, you're on mute though.
Sorry about that, guys. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry about that. How we're managing our growth is pretty much the glory of God. He's opened up avenues and doors that he wants us to gracefully walk through them. And to walk with God, it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel like a burden, but it's a lot. So we're just taking it as ease and continuously just moving forward and thinking of the opportunity to be able to help out the community and help out other entrepreneurs and give space to other entrepreneurs that's serious about getting a brand or being a part of the WCC family opportunity to expand as well. And as far as the B Division jewelry goes, my wife can tell you her story as far as that. I'm not making beaded jewelry no more. I tried it. It was a headache. My necklace sat on the couch for like 3 weeks. I'm done with it. I'm just going to help run the business. So I elaborate on the B Division. It was horrible. I mean, the colors went together good. I tried that. That worked. The color scheme was great. But as far as me getting the necklace together, I can't do it. I take my hats off to her. Very grateful that she's doing it and it's successful.
It's definitely a family affair. Right now, running around the store are our two youngest children. We have Jordan that's 4, we have Justice that's 9. Our older daughters, they also help cover time at the store as well. And then when we say we have a WCC family, we mean we have a family. So we are making this by being able to call on each other and to say, you know, this is what we need, this is what we're struggling with, this is, you know, we have this idea, what do you think? It's very helpful to be able to work together. This is definitely not something that we can just do on our own.
We wouldn't be who we are if it wasn't for you guys as well.
The doors are definitely opening, but it's not about us. We're just the vessels being used to accomplish the task. So we know that in our own strength we can't do it. So the whole purpose of this is to build a community. And so to do that, we reach out to the community, we reach out to our family. It gives them a more of an opportunity to be involved. We all don't know everything, so it's helpful to be able to, get that knowledge. Everyone has different skill sets, so we utilize those skill sets. So we're balancing it all by really having an understanding family. Our children are really understanding. They're with us, from morning to night, creating balance, creating a schedule. You have to write it all down, definitely, because it is a lot to keep organized.
So they're in school as well, doing virtual learning. Sometimes when they get cabin fever, we bring them to the store to do virtual learning.
Yes.
Once they finish with their
family
work.
that helps. So yeah,
it's busy. It seems like a lot, and we know it's a lot, but it haven't felt as a heavy burden.
Yeah.
So that's the blessing from God. So we're just walking in it and constantly just staying positive and staying focused and knowing that this is what God called us to do. We help out the community and build a community and build platforms for entrepreneurs.
Yes. And this is a great group we've got here, and there are so many more. So on that note, Terrell and anybody, I guess, can jump in, but can you talk about the meaning that local businesses have as they connect to their communities? How is that different? This is kind of a silly question, but we're getting so dependent on ordering from Amazon. So talk to us about why this is important to maintain our connections and the impact that local businesses have on the communities around them.
Well, self-sufficiency is important for not only the individual, but for communities. And just the challenges that we've had as Black people with self-sufficiency in regard to it constantly being, in my opinion, just constantly being made difficult for us to do what we're, you know, naturally capable of doing, because of marginalism and not having equal access to resources, and just the setbacks that we have historically had to endure. So for me, it's not a matter of the ability for us to be self-sufficient. It's been more of a fight to have to fight things, you know, have to fight discrimination, racism, segregation, and all of the setbacks that we've endured in order to be able to exist freely, you know, as a self-sufficient people. So when my children or Bruce's children or our nephews and nieces or friends, when they see us, when they see Bruce and they have a store in Mayfair, that inspires others in an area where they're not used to seeing that. I believe one of our family members at WCC talked about how much of a jump it seemed like to be able to occupy and have success in a store at Mayfair Mall. But they have set that example that inspires others, and so the more people are inspired, the more people create, right? The more people are set free to do something other than the status quo, other than just getting a job. It's probably still to this day the #1 compliment I've received, in that you know, individuals have come up to me and said, I started my business because I saw you start your business. And so that's powerful. That's what we look to create, like Bruce and Daniel said, being vessels to continue to birth out life in individuals in our communities, in the community, and in the surrounding community. And I also have 2 daughters who are entrepreneurs, you know, and so it's contagious, and self-empowerment is contagious. Stepping out of the box, facing your fears, going against the grain, those things are contagious because inside of all of us, or at least most of us, is a desire to do just that.
Right.
Awesome. I want to chime in behind that because I had the similar thought that it's very, very, very inspiring. When I went on my live personal page and I shared my business and being a part of WCC, like people were so inspired and so excited for not just me, but for themselves. That this is a place that they can come to and see other entrepreneurs. And again, be inspired, but not only inspired, but just having hope that there is more, that they can do more, that opportunities are there, even when it seems like all opportunities are limited or taken from us, or we feel so many disadvantages, but there are opportunities and you can get them. So that's one of the things that I really value and really highlight and really love about being a part of, you know, different community entrepreneurs. It's just the inspiration, the hope, and the feel of togetherness. You know, that we're doing this thing together. We have similar struggles, but yet there's some good things that come out of all of our hustle and all of our struggle and all of our pain and, you know, disappointment. Like, here's something that's really, really good. You know, here's somebody that's taking their skills and taking their talent or taking their dream and doing it, you know, every step at a time. it counts, it matters.
So I would say that that was all beautifully said.
It was. Keep that thought. Just let you guys know, Donna Fit for Life is in Wisconsin Security Creations. So every time you see me point my finger, I mute my mic so it don't interfere with what she's talking about. Just a heads up, guys. All right, go ahead, baby.
So I was gonna say, beautifully said, and just to echo just a little bit, so we're strong in our faith and our walk with God, and we believe that you are God's message. That someone may not listen to the preacher in the pulpit, may not see hope through who people would typically say to see hope through. So we feel as though we're trying to carry the message. We're trying to carry the message of hope, the message of patience, message of understanding. We kind of stumbled into all of this. So it's not a matter of, we prepared ourselves for years and we knew that this was exactly what we were going to do. And we were planning it and we laid out all the finances. And so we were ready and 100% prepared to do this. No, this is a work in progress. You just have to get started. So we're trying to make sure that people know they're safe. This is a safe place. There are other entrepreneurs. Reach out, talk. There's a saying that says closed mouths don't get fed, right? But we have become so afraid to share our dreams, share our passions, talk about our hurts, talk about our fears, and get help to get over those things. And so building a community is critical in us being able to get past some of those hurdles that will help us be successful in our business, that will help to open doors. So, we just really ask that, people start just having conversations. Start there. If nothing else, just start having conversations. Talk about that, that dream that you've carried in your heart for so long, and that passion that you've had, and that craft that you do late at night that no one has ever seen, but it's beautiful. Start there. And then you'll be surprised how many people are out there that are willing to support you, people that actually care and are concerned. So just, we encourage people to just, start talking, start having conversations, and let us build together.
Sounds great. And that's what Wisconsin Security Creation is, a community-based platform. With community-based inside the store with all our entrepreneurs that's a part of our family. And before the COVID situation, before everything shut down, was community-based. Every end of the month, we'll have a different community event. So we'll reach outside into the community and bring different, maybe doctors, lawyers, publicists, or people that's doing good in the community that don't nobody know about that's doing great. And we'll give them a platform at WCC at one of our events in front of the news cameras and the radio stations. For Thanksgiving last year, we had a community event for McKenna Brown Homeless Shelter, where we fed all our displaced people, gave them clothes, hygiene products, and everything. Jeff over at Maggiano's catered the whole event. It's been many times where the community came inside from outside that was probably burdened or have heavy hearts or anything, and come into our space and we'll see what's going on with them. And it's been many times that my wife, even myself individually, and my wife and all of us together with our kids, just grab that customer and just pray for them in the middle of the floor while they was crying and going through what they're going through. Wisconsin Security Creation is just not only a family-based platform, but we look at it like a modern day retail barbershop where people can come tell their stories, to come feel the love, to come be healed, become delivered. It's similar to church. You walk in one way and go out and leave out a different way. And we didn't change a lot of people's lives by being here at Wisconsin Security Creations, and we continue to plan on doing so.
Thank you for sharing. We have a question from the Facebook audience, and it's related to COVID, so I'm bringing up the C word. What ways have you had to get creative to brand yourselves or change the way you do business in the time of COVID? For instance, Ruben, I did see that Poppy and Time has online ordering, and I don't know if the other stores do as well. So I don't know if that's new or if you had that from before. So maybe start us off, Ruben, on that question.
What we had to do differently, fortunately, my wife had started up a website for us. We really didn't have a lot of products on there, maybe 100 of them. We have like over 3,000 products in our store. So it was, we didn't pay a lot of attention to it till the pandemic hit and we had the lockdown. And then all of a sudden we had to put everything we could on there. And it was very important, not just for us, but also for the community because we manufacture hand sanitizer. And we just, in April, that's pretty much, I think, about 95% of what we did is manufacture and distribute hand sanitizer. We had to implement curbside pickup, contactless curbside pickup. We had hand sanitizer at WCC. And I think, that's one way we help the community. We didn't raise our prices or gouge. Like you looked on Amazon, people were charging $800 for a case of Purell or something like that. And we decided to keep the same price we have always kept. And just to see how far we could get it out there with it. We don't have an infinite supply of it. So there was pressure on that end, but we were able to help the community because a lot of people couldn't get it anywhere else. I mean, even the local manager of a CVS was referring people to Poppy and Time to get hand sanitizer.
Wow.
So, we hope we really helped the community in that way. And it was a blessing and right place at the right time. And I think it helped a lot of people and until a point where it was more widespread and available.
Yeah.
It was, we had to do curbside pickup. Businesses were ordered to close, but hand sanitizer is a drug under the FDA's eyes. So that made us an essential business to stay open just because of that. So that's for the 2-week lockdown, whatever it was, the doors were locked, but you still could do pickups. And on that note, I'll connect it back to your prior question. That's an area Amazon can't deal with. You can't go to an Amazon store right now and pick something up. And even if you could, that money kind of goes out of the community. Whereas in our stores, it stays in the community.
Right.
And I think that's an important distinction and difference between WCC, Poppy and Time, and Amazon.
Mm-hmm. How many hours a week were you working when you were making hand sanitizer?
I don't know, but we have pictures of mounds of boxes just piled high for orders that were going to go out. And I can't even tell you how many bottles we had to get from a local company, thankfully, Illing up in Germantown was able to provide us because when sanitizer got popular, you had to put it in something. So there was a run on bottles. It was really hard to get bottles to put it in. So it was just, it was a lot of work and a lot of juggling to get, bottles and the labels and everything we needed to do. And I think we were just up to our eyes in sanitizer.
Terrell, I assume, were you still screen printing during all that time?
Yes, screen printing, it picked up. A lot of people were looking for creative ways to still connect to their students, still connect to their clients, still connect to their members. And so we were screen printing shirts that were pretty much birthed or as a direct result of COVID-19. We did a class of 2020 State of Mind shirt, which was very successful. Different schools did their own school colors of the class of 2020 State of Mind shirt. And other organizations, since they couldn't meet their constituents in person, they wanted to have an item that they can mail out to them, have them come pick up. So the screen printing business really picked up, and so the opportunities, a lot of opportunities changed. Now with the uprising, that also created opportunities because people were like, wow, Words and Images, they were already making Black cultural apparel. So we were one of the first people that got a lot of calls from individuals wanting to represent their culture, wanting to stand up for, you know, in the midst of the Black Lives Matter movement, in the midst of the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, rest in peace to those individuals, and other individuals who have lost their lives at the hand of, probably misuse of force. So we had a lot of opportunities with people wanting to represent their culture. And it doesn't, you know, whether it's Irish culture or Mexican culture or Black culture, everybody wants to represent their culture. And so it's just an amazing, it's just an amazing feeling when you get a call or you get these orders of people wanting to wear red, black, and green. They want to want to wear shirts that empower Black people. We have a Black Power State of Mind shirt. So yeah, our opportunities shifted, and that was great. I also found ways to cut my overhead. So sometimes you have to be creative with your overhead. Sometimes you can help yourself out financially if you're able to rework your overhead. So those were some things that Words and Images did.
Excellent. LaDonna, can you comment on that, well, this whole COVID timeframe for you?
Of course, it was crazy for me. But I'm like really adaptive and creative. So some of the things that I've done during the time was, first, I started to train outdoors with the space, safe space. I did a fitness class outdoors at a park, and it was beautiful, awesome. I had about 12 ladies come, and it was like a month of training. It was awesome. I was going live, sharing like different tips, things that people can eat to boost their immune system. Started my website. I got different like workout plans, meal plans on there, so different options. Also created some workout videos and sold a few of those. So it's always a way to do things. You just got to find a way and adapt. Changes are inevitable. They're going to happen. So in spite of, you can still stay healthy while at home, work out from home, you know. Take time to now watch what you're eating, because now you have to plan out shopping. So that's some of the things that I've done.
All good advice that I should. Yes. And Danielle and Bruce, when I see the signs at Mayfair about, you know, pick up for call, and they'll bring out orders and things, are you trying to do that for Beaded Vision and WCC as well? Or your store WCC has the door that just you drive Maggiano's and Five Guys. But then how are you doing that kind of business?
So for us, we're still adapting. But Mayfair, we got on conference calls with Mayfair and we talked through what would be some options where we could still service customers in a safe way. And the option for curbside was offered through Mayfair. So there's specific parking that's available for Mayfair shoppers for any of the stores. And there's a whole process, everything's posted on the Mayfair website. So that's one option. But for us, we're very lucky in the fact that we do have an outside entrance and we are right by the curb. So curbside is literally right in front of the store. And so we found that people were starting to order products from us through Facebook and through Instagram, and they would just message what they were looking for. We started sending out posts with item numbers. So if they wanted a Words and Images t-shirt, just give us a message, put the item number, tell us the size, and we'll have it ready for you for pickup. So we were offering that for all of the brands within the store that were ready and had their product line available to their customers. Many of the vendors that were in the store came in and they needed to get their products so that they could sell within, you know, their social media and the best way that they could and navigate their small businesses. And so we just made sure that we were available and we could adjust so that we were meeting their needs. And then in any way that we could help through selling online. We don't have an online website, but we were still selling through social media and offering the curbside pickup option. For some people, we were delivering items to their homes. So we're just trying to get creative and find the best ways to kind of keep going, because though the doors were closed, all the expenses still came in on the first of the month. And so we really did have to get creative. We are in the process of building a website right now. Actually, Layla and Ruben and Poppy and Time are helping us with that whole process. So it's, you know, it's good to have that family again. And so we will have that up and going shortly. B Division will also have an online option as well. So we're just continuing to adapt and figuring out what it looks like. You know, we can't have our monthly community-based events here within the space, but just trying to figure out, okay, what do we do virtually, or how do we reach out to people individually? Sometimes it's just that individual touch that, you know, people that are in need. We still have kept our doors open as an option for delivering food and clothes for the sanctuary, the homeless shelter, and we do monthly donations there. Sometimes it's so large they come and they pick it up from us, and so we have not stopped doing that. We make sure we sanitize everything and just try to keep it very safe. And the store is pretty large, so social distancing is pretty easy within 8,500 square feet. So we're blessed in that way. And who would have thought we needed this much space that the pandemic would happen? So it's just kind of funny how the dots always connect when you're just kind of in the will of God. So, you know, it's been a journey, and it'll continue to be a journey, and we'll continue to make changes accordingly as we, you know, go on. So we're just looking at other businesses and trying to bounce ideas off of one another, and what could we do next, and what does it look like? So just pivoting.
Yeah. Okay, I have some questions from viewers that are kind of related, and they are about location. So this might start with the Rileys, but then, for instance, Poppy and Time, I believe you have a store, your main storefront is in the Falls, is in Menominee Falls, okay. So when you chose your location, can you talk about how you choose that? Because Wauwatosa has a reputation that for maybe not being the most welcoming place for minorities. However, and it's a mall location, so that has pros and cons. Now you're opening other locations as well. And then LaDonna and Terrell, I don't know as much about your businesses and your online presence and those aspects, so if you want to jump in too. But how about Daniela and Bruce, start us off?
So I kind of mentioned earlier on how this, you know, Wisconsin Curated Creations and its location came about. It was really from starting with a pop-up inside of the mall during the holidays, and just seeing the opportunity and looking around and seeing that there was a need and there was nothing like what we wanted to offer. And then I think also the same fear and apprehension maybe that we had when sending the email and making the proposal to the mall, so many have. And I like to think I have very broad shoulders. I've been in leadership in corporate America for some time. I was in the financial industry for 22 years. I just actually left my corporate job October 2nd. And I had climbed to assistant vice president within the bank. And so I felt as though, hey, if I could face those challenges, what's no? You know, if someone just says no, hey, that's fine. But there are so many people who won't take that risk, that won't take that leap. But if I tried, if he tried, we try as a married couple, as a minority family, if we tried and the doors open for us, we could open the door to so many more small businesses. And so that was critical for us to put fear aside and say, we need to try, we need to go for this. And, you know, we thought about the fact that we wanted to paint our cultures in a different light. And you're correct. That is, Wauwatosa has not been known to be the most welcoming, but we have been blessed to say we have a story that we did feel welcome. Management here at Mayfair were very willing to work with us, open to always having, you know, conversations specific to what our needs are, because I felt like we wanted to have transparent conversations. And we would tell them, we've had conversations, you need us as much as we need you. And how do we make this work?
We're not the best store at Mayfair, sorry.
Just to add that in. But, you know, we really have to be honest and have those conversations to say, you know, we're doing each other a favor. It's not about, okay, here's Mayfair giving a handout. No, you guys need to change the view of what's happening in Wauwatosa. You need to show that we can come together. You need to show that opportunities can happen and are happening for minority businesses. And that's what we want to do, and will you help us? And so we were very fortunate to be able to foster that relationship and start to build off of that relationship. And there've been conversations as time has gone on, as, you know, there've been, you know, protests and a lot of tension. We keep having those conversations with them all, and, you know, talking about what's going on and what can we do and what will you do to kind of shift the narrative. And so for us, we felt that this was necessary, that this was going to be somewhere that we could be that would be impactful and show that there's a minority business. Yes, it's not, you know, it's a huge store, so that in itself makes it impressive, and it kind of draws people in. But then also the love that you feel when you come in. We're professional. You know, this is just, you know, honest conversation that you can have a minority business. They'll be professional. They'll have excellent customer service. They'll handle business. They'll respond to your messages. You know, they'll have appropriate music, what you would call appropriate. Like, everything has been really critical, and it sounds like tiny details, but when everything culturally has been questioned, all the details kind of matter. So we've felt that we needed to take on that challenge, and we have been blessed to be able to work with other individuals who are working to change the narrative as well. And so that has helped us. And now we're moving forward without fear. And, you know, whatever the next steps are, is that's just what we're going to do, because there's a lot of work to be done.
And I want to take back what I said about us having the best business at Mayfair. It's a lot of beautiful, amazing businesses inside Mayfair, but I can say we have one of the most creative, one of a kind storefronts at Mayfair.
And since we've opened, actually, there've been a lot of other small businesses that have opened inside of the mall. Many big chains have closed, and now you're seeing those spaces being filled with smaller businesses, treat shops, and individual clothing apparel lines. There's the barber shop that's here, that's a minority-owned business. So there's definitely, you know, opportunities that are happening, and we just need to move forward without fear.
Yes, I think anybody else want to jump in on what it takes to draw customers into the burbs and away from their computers, and make them feel more comfortable here in Tosa or in the Falls, for that matter?
Well, I think customer service has a lot to do with it. I mean, people want to be treated special. They don't want to feel like another number. They don't want to feel too pressured to buy and followed around the store. Nobody likes being followed around the store. I hate it. As a minority, I hate it. You know, there's some intonations often with that, like, why are you following me? So we take a customer first approach, and we treat the customer like they were kings or queens. We try that, at least, to try to keep it that way. And I can tell you it's that way at WCC as well. And you have two phenomenal people there running it. And, you know, it's very important to have that right balance there. And I think it's critical. I think that's what makes a lot of people come back, is the way they feel after they've shopped with one of our partners, with one of us. is like, that's just a really great place to go. Excellent customer service. I had a problem. I returned something. There was no questions asked. Is there anything we can do for you? Even sometimes customers will call, do you have any of this scent in stock? No, but we can make it for you. You know, so most chains don't do that. You can't go to, you know, I don't know, Bath and Body Works and ask if they have a certain flavor and they're going to make it for you that day. It doesn't happen that way. And I think that's what makes our stores very appealing is if we don't have it right now, we can get it for you, or we can do something about it. And I think as far as locations go, we're willing to go anywhere, you know, and reach into different communities and be an example and role models. I mean, even to our own kids, you know, if you think about it, a lot of our kids are taught to either go to college or get a vocation, but not so many people talk to their kids about working for yourself. And so my own son has Jumpy's line of candies. He does both at Poppy and Time in the Falls and at WCC. We're trying to raise him about being thinking self-sufficiency and you know, going into other stores and kind of learning all that about running a business himself. So anyway, wrap it up. Customer service, I think, makes us different, makes us all different, makes us shine. And I think all of us are pretty flexible and adaptable. I think COVID, we saw some businesses close that didn't adapt. They just sort of like stayed on that track. We're not going to put a website up. We're not going to do curbside, you know, then, and you could just see them, a couple of them falling by the wayside. And you look at WCC, Poppy and Time and some of the other businesses, they do whatever they have to do to stay in business and to roll with things. And I think that's been really powerful in all the businesses here.
Yeah. Awesome. And then Terrell and LaDonna, can you share with us as we wrap up here, any words of advice? I think LaDonna kind of hit on it already a little bit. Words of advice for future entrepreneurs, people still dreaming.
Yeah, it's been hit on. Daniela, she said it, you know, as well, you know, stepping out on faith. I've come to realize that that is probably the best way to live life. Stepping out on faith. You have to believe past what you can see, right? You have to believe past your fears. You have to believe past your comfort zones. And of course, you have to believe past those naysayers and maybe traumatic or limiting experiences that you had growing up. So I would say that you have to believe, and then you have to learn. It's been mentioned you have to adapt. You know, my business probably survived because I got a crazy idea to learn how to screen print after having no experience and no exposure to the screen printing process whatsoever. But knowing that this is a way to cut out the middleman, you know, having that knowledge that this is a way to cut out the middleman, I took those steps of faith. It took about six months. It was a steep learning curve, but I saw the reward that I could gain if I learned it, and I just began to go through that difficult process of learning it. Almost gave up, you know, a couple of times, but stuck in there. So a lot of it has to deal with faith. I've had a strong community. I mean, I can go on and on, just trying to provide my customers with quality products that make them feel good. We get a lot of stories about how much attention that they got wearing a Words and Images t-shirt. So, you know, you want to be able to provide quality products that make your customers, well, number one, help them to really enjoy themselves while using or wearing your product. And number two, come back or refer somebody else. So you have to believe in yourself, and then you have to adapt and grow, to do the necessary things for the business to continue to go to the next level and have the ability to actually survive.
Awesome. And LaDonna, you're gonna keep us all healthy through this, right?
Oh, yeah. I just love all the comments. That was absolutely it. faith is a big factor. And I just like to tell people to do what you believe, do what you always dreamed of, because that is your purpose. We all have a purpose, and from the moment we enter this earth, we know it in our hearts. So it's like you follow your heart with that faith, and God will make a way. Like it's crazy how this all just kind of seems like it falls in your lap, because it's all laid out, because it's already pre-planned for you, and it's everything that you do affects somebody else. And so I really stand on that, especially with health. Like, how I eat affects how my children eat, affects how my mom eat. It's just trickled on, to everybody. It's like a big ripple effect. So you are here for somebody. Your business is for somebody. What you do affects somebody, and they affect you. So we're all interconnected. So that's one thing I just want to leave with you all.
Yes, awesome. All right, to the Rileys, can you wrap us up? Tell us where to find the WCC family for, Christmas shopping, please.
You can find the Wisconsin Curated Creations family at Mayfair Mall next door to in between Maggiano's and Five Guys. Our storefront is outside. You can pull in the parking lot and walk right into our facility. And my wife can tell you about the Beaded Vision stores that we recently just opened, how to locate those as well.
So Beaded Vision Jewelry is located inside of Mayfair. It's on the first level. It's right across from the elevators. So the store facing it would be Sephora's. So we're right at Center Court. That's where you can find Beaded Vision Jewelry. And you can also find Beaded Vision in Menominee Falls, right off of Appleton and Main Street. So downtown Menominee Falls. I don't have the address quite memorized just yet, given that we open on Friday.
It's right around the corner from Poppy and Time.
Yes. If you can't find Beaded Vision, stop in at Poppy and Time, make a purchase, and ask them for directions.
Sure.
But please follow everyone on their social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and then all the contact information will be there too.
I got one more thing. Thanksgiving is coming up as well. So if any of you guys have any canned goods, foods, hygiene products, be sure to just drop them off at Wisconsin Curated Creations, and we'll make sure they get to the right people in need as well. So thank you guys very much.
Yes, thank you.
Outstanding. Please join me, listeners, in thanking tonight's panel. Daniela, Bruce, Ruben, Terrell, and LaDonna, we really appreciate you sharing your experiences and insights with us. Thank you to our Facebook audience for your time, as well as your comments and questions. We hope you found this presentation enlightening and inspiring. A special thank you to our generous friends at Bostic, whose support makes this Tosa Talks series possible. Plan on joining Tosa Talks for 2 additional discussions around the theme of local business development, growth, and community impact through a racial and social justice lens. Diversity advocate and financial advisor Emily Phillips will be live next Wednesday, November 18th. And Corey Joe Biddle, Executive Director of Fuel Milwaukee, will join us on December 3rd, the Thursday after Thanksgiving. Reach out to Tosa Together anytime through our Facebook page, our website, or by emailing us at tosatogether@gmail.com. This is Katie Phillips from Tosa Together, and it has been my pleasure to be here with tonight's fabulous panel, as well as with all of you. Thanks for being part of Tosa Talks and our mutual effort to build a diverse, thriving community.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have a blessed one. Thank you guys for being a part of it. We'll talk soon.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Bye.